What's up, Blackish fam? It's your boy B. We're continuing to go through some new music, and we've been exploring Black Thought and also the Roots. And if we're a fan of wordplay and breaking down the bars, man, no one quite brings it quite like Black Thought, right? I came across something really curious about it because it looks like Black Thought covered "Is It Because I'm Black." Um, I thought I might have heard a verse from him that's similar, but I've never heard him. This is a song that you sing, right? I'm really curious about it. It looks like a live performance. So, without further ado, let's check this out. Featuring the Midnight Hour.
All right. We gather here tonight in the midnight hour so we can reason,
Black Thought, you about to sing?
analyze, articulate, and appreciate the Black
Pontificate.
experience.
Come on now.
The history, the legacy, the lineage, so-called progress,
Ooh, would have been like
and the great cost
to be
at
at
which that
this.
has come.
to be a fly on the wall, right?
James Baldwin said,
Who knows James Baldwin?
anyone who is familiar with poverty is also familiar with how extremely expensive it is to be poor.
Yeah, bro. It's the cycle of poverty, right?
I think songs like this speak to how extremely expensive it is to be black.
Woo! Yeah, everything costs more.
The dark tones of my skin
Woo! What a talented dude, bro.
only add color to my teeth. Oh,
Never heard his brother
that
say.
splat upon my hollow bones and rock my soul. Oh,
It's alright. Just literally gotta warm up. It's alright.
thinking back to my lost dream that I once knew, wondering why they never came true. Oh,
Why my man dressed up like an undercover Ninja Turtle, though, right? He still got the stupid, the Tyrone Bigum's hat, but he's got the Heroes in a Half Shell jacket and shit. Come on now.
is it because I'm black? Somebody tell me what can I do?
Ooh. I like this. I like this.
I said, something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black?
That's probably one of the reasons, right?
Tell them, dog. In this world with no pity, I was born in the ghetto of the city.
Woo.
Mama had to work so hard to earn every penny. You know that it. Listen, something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black?
Woo. And he could flow over this if he wanted to. Come on now.
Oh,
That's a talented brother right there.
that's that shit.
That's that shit. That's a
That's that
remake
shit.
of Is It Because
Yo.
I'm Black? It's the original song. Yo, sick cover. Means it's
You
so much.
actually rapped to this shit before.
Oh,
I did.
Alright.
It was
So-
something like this.
Woo. You gonna have to bless us with the track, with the verse?
Look, they say payback's a motherfucking nigga. That's why I'm sick of getting treated like a goddamn stepchild. Living like a sider, I'm in exile. trying to climb out of my skin just like a reptile, born with a fence file. Them suits and neckties, operating under the code, living let down, trying to break free of the mold. 5 out of 10 brothers go and see a parole. Who the system failed? Michael Bell might as well be Sean.
Oh, that's so sick. He just continues dropping knowledge when he starts to spit, right? He's saying 5 out of 10 brothers see a parole officer or have dealt with one. That means 50% of people of color, right? Black people of color are on some form of parole or probation. Come on now. They don't call you slaves anymore. They call you criminals.
White cats picnicking on a White House lawn, and it's only 10% in the hood with health benefits. Genocide, genocide, guilty till we innocent citizens. Listening to
yo in the hood, right? It's the opposite. We're not due what the Bill of Rights, right? The first 10 amendments of the Constitution. What happened to our due process? What happened to unreasonable search and seizure, right? What happened to all of these things? He said, yo, in the hood, you're guilty until you're proven innocent, when in reality it should be you're innocent until you're proven guilty, but they treat you like criminals from the jump, right?
Government smooth talk, take one step forward, then do the moonwalk back. Give me the peace prize like Al Gore's. I got a mind like Malcolm X, how about yours? They had the nerve.
Yo, Malcolm X, right? By any means necessary. Black nationalism, right? Malcolm X said, yo, we're peaceful as long as you're peaceful, but just marching, just speaking on what's going on in the Black community, it's not enough anymore. We need action, and we need it now. He said, I got the mind of Malcolm X, bro. But I would argue that he's a bit of both. I could see him, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., but also people like Marcus Garvey, right? Or he referenced Baldwin, right? Someone who's extremely knowledgeable and has all of this history inside of us and he knows that not too many people know, right? We did a video the other day talking about Black Thought, and we were talking about this elite club that he considers himself a part of. It's worth Googling. The group is actually called the 5% Nation, and it was ran by Allah the Father, formerly known as, I believe it's Clarence 13X. We were studying this on one of his other videos, but it's normally referred to as just the 5%ers. It's a Black nationalist movement. It's influenced by Islam that was started in Harlem. Basically, the members of the group say that 10% of the people of the world know the truth of existence, and those elites and their agents really opt to keep the 85% of the world in ignorance, really basically controlling them. The remaining 5% are those that know the truth, right? Like Black Thought, and one would argue like this channel, right? We're students of the truth, right? We're constantly in search of the truth, but we're determined to enlighten the 85%. That's called the 5% Nation. Come on now.
Ask me why I seem so solemn on a throne between 3 stone columns. Y'all know the name, fucking up the game, no condoms. Everybody goddamn first world problems.
Yo, a first world problem, right? Most of us that are watching this channel right now, we complain about things that are going wrong in our life, but in reality, we're a first world country, right? There's people around the world that can only dream about the problems that we have. So when we complain about the cost of things skyrocketing, gentrification, displacement, education, things happening in the Black communities, like, there's people around the world that are still oppressed, right? Now, there's a lot going on that you only see that sliver of the world around you. You got to be aware, right, of the world and your place in the world. A first world problem is one that wouldn't affect the majority of people because they're not in that better place to experience that.
Secret is inconvenience, it's DACA dreamers, fearing DACA dreamers instead of FEMA. Billy Pinter a beat. Y'all know the name, fucking up the game, no condoms. Everybody goddamn first world problems. The secret is inconvenience, it's DACA dreamers, fearing DACA dreamers instead of FEMA. Billy Pinter.
Yo, DACA, right? DACA versus dreamers. If you were to remember, DACA it's been a problem for quite some time, but it's something that Obama and Trump really tried to deal with. When you talk about DACA, it's the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It's a policy that allowed certain individuals who meet program requirements that they're able to get work in school authorization in the country. These are typically kids that came here with illegal parents, right? But they were born here a lot of times. They've been here their entire life, and a lot of them are doing positive things in the community. But they were in fear of getting deported to a place that they didn't even know. And you know, it's so important. We're trying to change how DACA is and how DACA affects others. Well, we got things like FEMA, which we could do a whole video on a lot of the corruption and some of the problems with FEMA. That's the Federal Emergency Management Association, I believe.
No condoms, everybody goddamn first world problems. The secret is inconvenience, it's DACA dreamers. Fearing DACA dreamers instead of FEMA.
DACA, they're totally referred to as dreamers, right?
Fiji or Aquafina. We fuck around and be the next Iwo Jima. The tides rising at the same time. They synchronize for making art, for making love, for making highs. And get home with a hatred lie. They taking lives, but everybody just so saved and sanctified. Then they rely upon we the few defiant ones, communicating in higher forms than Viacom to dialogue before the roar of the rock.
Bro, he's saying so much. I gotta run that
Innocent,
back.
guilty till we innocent citizens. Listening to government smooth talk. Take one step forward, then do the moonwalk back. Give me the
That's man. That's such good wordplay, right? That's a saying. It's when you're a person of color, you're taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. It means even though you're making progress, you're still set behind everyone else, right? You're at a disadvantage. But one would argue that as long as you're getting that 1 step positive, it's positive change in the right direction. Keep on, young brother. Keep on.
These rise like Al Gore. I got a mind like Malcolm X. How about yours? They had the nerve to ask me why I seem so solemn. On a throne between 3 stone columns. Y'all know the name, fucking up the game, no conscience. Everybody goddamn first world problems. The secret is inconvenience, it's DACA dreamers. Fearing DACA dreamers instead of FEMA. Billy Benz or Beamer, Fiji or Aquafina. We fuck around and be the next Iwo Jima. The tides rising at the same time.
Yeah, just for those that don't know or didn't study this in history, he's referring to the Battle of Iwo Jima, right? That was somewhere between February and March. That was World War II. So that was 1945. Basically, it's a major battle. This was against the United States Marine Corps and the Navy. They eventually captured the island of Iwo Jima, right, from the Japanese Army during World War II. So there's this whole, there's a lot that we can learn by referencing Iwo Jima, but for the sake of this breakdown, that's just what he's referring to, right? The Battle of Iwo Jima.
Instead of FEMA, Billy Benz or Beamer, Fiji or Aquafina. We fuck around and be the next Iwo Jima. The tides rising at the same time. They synchronize for making.
You know, he's saying, like, how can you argue the existence of a God when there's things in the world that happen that are synchronized, right? Like the rise and fall of tide. That these are things that the world works in a way where everything has a place and understands what it needs to do to work. If there wasn't intelligent design, then how could that be, right? You'll hear him reference this in a few different songs. Normally, he kind of plays around with the word synchronize or what does he say? Sanction, sanctify. But he always uses really similar wordplay when he brings that up. But yo, it's deep. There's another meaning to it.
The tides rising at the same time. They synchronize for making art, for making love, for making highs. And get home with a
Your Hajj, right? That's the pilgrimage to Mecca that you have to make once in your life as if you're a Muslim.
They taking lives, but everybody just so saved and sanctified. Then they rely upon we the few defiant ones, communicating in higher forms than Viacom to die.
Listen to what he's saying, right? He said, we're the enlightened ones. We're communicating in higher forms than Viacom. That's a telecommunications company. And I remember hearing parts of this flow. We actually broke this down and did a complete lyrical breakdown. I don't know the name of the song. I'll have to go back to check. We've only done a handful of Black Thought, but I remember parts of this, not the entire verse.
Long before the roar of the riot horn. I wonder on which side of the line I belong. Lady Liberty, face full of concealer. I'm half master killer, half true master killer. Latrophobia, that's a fear but a healer.
Back just a little bit to catch the bars.
With a hatred lie, they take a lie, but everybody just so saved and sanctified. Then they rely upon, we defuse the fireballs, communicating in higher forms than Viacom. To dialogue before the roar of the riot horn. I wonder on which side of the line I belong. Lady Liberty, face full of concealer. I'm
Yo, when you think of Lady Liberty, but he's saying, yo, a face full of concealer, right? And she's hiding the truth, you would say, right?
Half master killer, half true master killer.
Ooh. Yo, the wordplay, when he talks about face full of concealer, he says, I'm half master killer, right? That's one of the original members of the Wu-Tang Clan. One of the less known members, I believe he was only on one track, right? Back in the early days. So he's not as well known as like a Method Man, right? Or someone like ODB or someone like that. But yo, he's part of Wu-Tang. But yo, he says Hugh Masekela. This is the trumpeter, right? He was born in South Africa, but he's famous. You can Google him. Hugh Masekela. Hugh, H-U-G-H, though. Like common spelling, right?
Latrophobia, that's a fear but a healer. Happening is an activist, y'all in fear but a kneeler.
Who did he say there?
Over the riot horn, I wonder on which side of the line I belong. Lady Liberty, face full of concealer. I'm half master killer, half true master killer. Latrophobia,
Latrophobia, that's the fear of doctors, right? The fear of fear of doctors.
That's a fear but a healer. Happening is an activist, y'all in fear but a kneeler.
He said Kaepernick, right? He said, you guys are fearful of the kneeler, right? Colin Kaepernick, who was taking a knee on the field during the national anthem, right?
I belong. Lady Liberty, face full of concealer. I'm half master killer, half true master killer. Latrophobia, that's a fear but a healer. Happening is an activist, y'all in fear but a kneeler. Everything's obtuse, nothing is obscene. Another young life was lost on live streams.
Yo, when you say that's kind of interesting to break down, I believe I did this before, but it's hard to understand because when you say something's obtuse, right, it's kind of hard to define, right? You could be saying it's something that's slow to understand, right? That's the literal meaning of one of the meanings of obtuse, not like an obtuse angle, right? But he's saying everything's obtuse, right? It's hard to understand. Nothing is obscene. Maybe kind of like Malcolm X, right? Who he referenced in Black nationalism. Malcolm X says, yo, you want to march in D.C. singing "We Shall Overcome"? You're taking such a slow method for change, right? One would argue that we need things like looting and rioting and violence to bring attention to the cause because kneeling isn't doing it, right?
Another great fell from grace and high esteem. Then the clock struck 13. We in some kind of dream. First I'm handling first things. Decipher what it means to a planet of earthlings. Where the question remains: am I a journalist? Herbal internalist, Olympic tournament level genius, author affirmative.
He's basically saying like, yo, I'm a Renaissance man, right? He said, yo, am I a journal? Right? Am I a collection of stories? Or am I a journalist writing and telling you about these things and putting you on, right? He's that herbal eternalist, right? Olympic tournament level genius, author. I'm a Renaissance man. I do a little bit of it all, right? Movies, television, studio, and beyond, right?
First thing, decipher what it means to a planet of earthlings. Where the question remains: am I a journalist? Herbal eternalist, Olympic tournament level genius, author affirmative. So turning back and returning, I'm not concerned with it. The permanent ink plays the way out the turbulence. My hands against the wall outside of billions. All I hear police discussing whether to try to kill us all. I question if it would matter. Life's like a tree that falls in the woods, even with iPhone footage to see it for.
Yo, that's sick. You know what he's referencing, right? People say if a tree falls in the forest, does anybody hear it, right? It's more of a philosophical question, and that's what he's referencing there. Bro, this brother is just so sick beyond words, right? just to hear him go. I've never heard Black Thought sing, but just for him to close it out and bring it all together with the flow, bro, this is classic and one that's definitely playlist for me. Again, and this is Black Thought covers Is It Because I'm Black? I believe the original is from S.Y.L. Johnson. You can find the original. There's a variety of different variations, different covers as well that might be worth breaking down. But yo, if you're a fan of good music, don't forget to not just like the video, but support the channel by subscribing so we can continue breaking down good work.